In response to my last vlog, a couple people, I forget a lot of you haven't been with me since the beginning of when I started vlogging. If you haven't, I definitely encourage you to go back and watch the old vlogs. But a couple of you were surprised that I said that Kyle had Lyme disease. And I don't talk about it as much now because he's in remission. Answer some of the questions that I did receive on Instagram. Yes, Lyme disease is transmitted, and that's how Kyle got it. And we were married about a year when he started showing symptoms. It was really bizarre, and I don't know if it's because it's, you know, the same Lyme and the same strands that are in me, but he started going like this and his wrists were popping, and I was like, why are you doing that? You've never done that before. And that's what I used to do at the very beginning because my wrist would hurt. And Kyle has always been very healthy, absolutely zero health issues. So I was just on edge about it. Like I had a feeling. And you know, doctors at that time that I was going to, you know, they said, oh, it could be, but you know, you shouldn't worry about it. But then they'd say, well, when you're in remission, you know, 6.5 years later, still not there. They're like, we recommend, you know, your spouse get like a month or a couple rounds of antibiotics as well, treatments. And it was just like, well, why should he get treatment if it's not transmitted, you know? And obviously we didn't get that far because I was about a year into treatment when no, it was probably about 6 months or so into treatment. I can't really remember. Your body goes through and your mind goes through a lot of trauma when you've been this sick for this long. And there's certain things that I like just can't remember because I was so sick for so long. And some of that is when we both were treating and we lived with my parents for I think like 8 months before we moved into our house. I have been trying to kind of remember that to answer some questions. Kyle did have some positive bands, like we did test him, but realistically I knew right away that he had it. And we tried just like healthy diet and supplements, and he kept getting worse. So he did I think a year of antibiotics, and then when he did the keto diet, that also helped push him into remission. I'll go into work in a second, but I do want to keep talking about this. That's why I started the keto diet, because that's what he really felt like helped his inflammation, and as you guys know, it helps mine. But his last couple months of treatment were super harsh, and I would not be able to do what he did because I'm too sick, and you guys know I talked about this before, I'd get too toxic. So they're very, very harsh with lots of bad side effects, and but he was able to do them. If you have Lyme disease, you know how hard it is, and you know what treatment is like, or if you've had any disease, your loved ones with a disease that have gone through treatments, you know treatments are really, really hard and not easy. So having two people with Lyme and all that goes with it and treatments, it almost feels impossible. So Kyle was, we were in our second apartment. We were in our apartment, and he'd come home from work, and I couldn't do the dishes. I couldn't make our meals anymore, you know, because I'd be doing treatment. I still was working when I could, and it was just so harsh. Sorry. Going up those steps and talking. I need to stop. I'll go into more of this later, but I want to finish at least this thought. We also, you know, having two people in treatments is very expensive. And we thought, and after we planned on renting more, we just realized it'd be better investment for us to probably start looking for a house. And so we did what we thought we'd never do. We ended up living with my parents for about 8 months, which was a huge blessing because Kyle treated that whole time and I treated that whole time. So like, he'd be getting ready for work, I'd be throwing up having seizures as he's leaving, and my parents would help me. And then he'd go to work, and no one at his work knew that he was in treatment. And sometimes he'd have to go to the bathroom and throw up his meds. So, you know, thankfully he was never as sick as I am, so he was still able to function. But that doesn't mean it was easy at all on him. Still being on that many antibiotics and treating and dealing with Lyme is so hard, and a full-time job. Like, it was just a lot. Only that, as he was getting better but still dealing with it, that's when we bought our house and he started flipping it and renovating it. My parents, you know, I was in a room pretty much for 8 months. I'd come downstairs very little. I mean, I would, but not a lot. Like, food would bother me, noise would bother me, you know, so it was just difficult. But it was a huge blessing, like, being with my parents, because we weren't paying rent. That helped, and we could put that towards both of our treatments. And Mom, she still picks up she still goes out and gets our groceries for us to this day. But she would just get groceries for the whole family, my mom, my dad, Kyle, and I. And she cooked. You know, she helped with our diets, and so Kyle didn't have to come home and start cooking and cleaning as well. So it was just a huge blessing. It was a very rough time. If I went into all of it, I'd be here for hours, and I need to start cleaning. Our faith and family and love for each other definitely pulled us through it. And like I said, a lot of trauma goes into being sick though, especially for that long. Because Lyme crosses the blood-brain barrier. It gets into every little part of your body and affects you. Kyle never had neurological symptoms. I think we got it soon enough that he was able to get it before then. So anyway, I have to stop talking and start cleaning. But I know that's a really rushed thing. I'm thinking for our 7th year anniversary of our marriage in May, I'd like to do a sit-down video with Kyle and I and just talk a lot more about this. So please let me know any other questions you have about marriage. Nothing's off topic. Lyme, everything that we can go into about our years of dating and then marriage and our life that it is now, you know, no kids. So please DM me questions, write them on the comments down below, email, whatever. I would love to continue to answer those. But anyway, I just wanted to touch base on some of that because I do know some of you are newer and didn't know that Kyle also dealt with Lyme disease for about a year to 2 years. Okay, like I said, I would have loved to sit down and talk about that and gone into depth, but I need to stop and start cleaning. During the wedding this weekend, I've stopped using it for about 4 days, so it's faded a little bit, but I did use my non-toxic tanner from Beauty by Earth, and I really like it. I had a lot of compliments on my tan, so if you guys want to check it out, it is linked in my link tree down below. Okay, I'm gonna rest a little bit before my kids come because I'm feeling really worn out. I hadn't talked at all until I started vlogging, and then I talked a lot. So I'm gonna rest a little bit and then finish cleaning, and I'll talk to you guys after work. Just finished. Trying to catch my breath. All right, just finished. Gonna head home. It is so pretty out in the sun. Definitely gonna see if Kyle can take a quick break and get me the ladder so I can do the lights, or if my mom can come over and help me with them. It is far time to put those lights away. So that will be my activity for the day, like extra exercise, because I do need to take it easy from the wedding weekend, so I probably won't do a mile. Leading up to the wedding, I only did like 5 to 10 minute walks each day, and I'm probably gonna have to do about the same getting back into my mile when I have time to recover in between, because I really want to get recovered and still be able to work all week and not be too overdone. So as I drove home, I hit a wall like I normally do, and I had asked Kyle to get the whatever it's called ladder out for me, and he's like, no. He's like, I will do it later. But I just figured it's beautiful out. That could be my exercise for the day, but he's right, I shouldn't do it. Look at you, so pretty there. Pretty. All right, so once again, it's the thought that counts, right? Hit a wall. I normally do when I drive home after work very hard in general, and the best way I can describe it is like, imagine being so tired, like you can barely keep your eyes open, and you're just having to push so hard that's how it is for me all the time. And so I'm pushing past, and then at a certain point your body is like, nope, can't do it anymore. And that's where I'm at right now. All right, I was thinking maybe I could sit down a little bit and then walk. I can't. Everything's fuzzy and hurting, so getting in the sauna now, and I'll start my detoxing for the day. You guys just know once I start my detoxing, I'm just done. So that'll be it for today. I'll see you soon.